Hey y'all, it's your girl Angelique Michelle, and I'm super excited to be back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be listing some important documents that you will need to have if you're going to live and or work abroad. Okay, y'all, so let's start with a disclaimer. This is from my personal experience as an American living in England for a year and then China for almost 3 years. These are the documents that I found to be the most helpful. And this is, of course, from an American perspective. Document number one, your passport. It is so important and so essential that you have your passport. You can't leave the country without it, right? Document number two is going to be your passport card. And the reason I recommend also having a passport card is passports, man, when I tell you they do not be lasting the 10 years they're supposed to last. They don't give what they're supposed to give, right? Because when I was in China used, I believe, 7 of my passport pages. 7. Let's have a moment of silence. And so with the passport card, if you are traveling from the US to specific countries, they won't need to stamp your passport book if you have a passport card. And if you have less stamps, the passport's life is extended, right? Because you're not using as much space. And so I recommend having a passport book and a passport card. If you are going to be working in another country, you are going to need to have your higher education degree. When I was moving to work in China, I had to send out the original copy of my degree that was authenticated to the company I was working for. They had to send it to Chinese government. Chinese government had to send it back, and then they had to give it back to me. And once you move to that country, you should still have this, because I didn't end up staying with the company that I was originally employed with. I finished my contract and then I moved to a different company, and that new company needed to authenticate my degree as well. And so this is something that you will definitely need if you are working abroad. Another thing that I find super helpful to have is your driver's license or your state ID. I do recognize that having a driver's license is a privilege because not everyone has access to a car to where they can actually take the test. So if you don't have a driver's license, then a state ID, I feel like it's just helpful just to have another form of identification, just in case something like you lose your passport or something, you have to go to the consulate. It just makes things so much smoother to have that secondary form of identification. And if you have your driver's license, I highly recommend that you get an international driving permit. And so essentially how you do that is you can go to AAA and you can pay $20 and fill out this form, and this driving permit gives you access, and it gives you the ability to drive in, I believe, around 150 countries worldwide. The next ones may depend on which country you are moving to. So your vaccination sheets. When I moved to China, I had to have proof of all of the vaccinations that I had gotten in my lifetime. This was pre-2020, so I moved in China in 2018, and they wanted a list of all of the vaccinations and all of the shots that I've received since birth to now. So I had to have my doctor send that over, get it authenticated, and sent over to China. And so it's very important to have that, because a lot of countries, when you are working in these countries, you have to show that you are in good health and your vaccinations. Now, post 2020, a lot of countries, if you are moving to or working in, have vaccination requirements for the panini that we just went through, right? So that is another card or form that you are going to need to have. Another thing that I believe is helpful to have is your social security card and your birth certificate. I actually didn't have either one of these when I moved to China. I left them here in the States. But again, if you're an adult, I think it's helpful to have. Of course, you're not keeping all of these documents together to where if you lose one, you lose them all. But also, like, I went to China for 12 months and I ended up staying for 3 years. And so that was not in the plan. So I believe it's important to have all of your documentation with you. Another thing that is important to have are your prescriptions. I wear spectacle lenses and contact lenses, and so I recently just got my new prescription. They are valid for, I think contacts are only 12 months, but when I was living in China, if you went to like the fake market, you could get really good prescription lenses, like spectacle lenses and contact lenses, for really cheap. All you needed was your prescription and they could hook you up, right? And I know several friends who did this, and like those glasses were so cute. I hope this was helpful. This is again just from my personal experience living and working abroad several times. So I hope it was helpful. I'm excited for you guys to embark on your own international experience and international journey, and I will see you guys in another video. I'm sending y'all all of my love and good vibrations, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye, y'all. Y'all, the anxiety. Like, what was I doing with my life? And like, do you want to go through the process of having another eye exam? You know what it is.